Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm really excited to share a brand new product with you, the Candy Kitsch Rotating Stencil by Sizzix. Now, if you love creating layered backgrounds but don't want to juggle with multiple stencils, this is such a fun option. I honestly didn't plan on making more than one card, but the process was so enjoyable and the results turned out to be so beautiful that I just had to create another. Sizzix has released four rotating stencil designs, all with such playful and creative patterns, so definitely check them out on their website. I've got two stencils with me today. On the left is the Candy Kitsch stencil, which we'll be using for our video today. And on the right is the Flower Power stencil, that gorgeous floral design. Well, I haven't made a video using the Flower Power stencil yet, but I do have a blog post where I share a card I created using it. And well, I'll leave a link to that video blog post down in the description box below. Let me take out the stencil from the packaging so that you can get a better look and better understand the stencil. Well, can you believe that this gorgeous geometric pattern is created with just a single stencil? As the name suggests, these are rotating stencils, so after you ink blend through the openings, you simply rotate the stencil either clockwise or counterclockwise to continue building that beautiful design. What makes it even easier is that each stencil has those tiny holes that line up perfectly with the etched markings on the Sizzix stencil and stamp tool. I'm starting with a piece of white cardstock which I'll place under the stencil. The sticky surface on the stamping platform will hold it securely in place so that it doesn't shift while we apply ink multiple times through the stencil. The tool also comes with a small attachment to help position your stencil, but I personally prefer lining up the stencil holes directly with the notches on the platform. It's quick, easy, and perfectly accurate. To build this geometric pattern, the stencil can be rotated up to 4 times, allowing you to use 4 different ink colors if you'd like. But for today's card, I decided to keep it simple with just two shades. I have a beautiful teal and a bright pink. I started by blending the teal ink through all of the openings on my panel. Normally, you would rotate the stencil once, but since I wanted the color to directly appear on the opposite side, I rotated it twice. To make things easier and save some time, I went ahead and used the same teal shade on both sides before moving on to the pink. That way, I didn't need to wipe off the stencil in between the coloring. For an even more contrast, you could use mini ink blending brushes to layer two shades from the same color family. Meaning, instead of sticking with just one teal, you could blend a lighter and a darker tone within each of those openings. This will add gorgeous depth and create an illusion of dimension in your background. Now, since this was the very first time I was experimenting with the stencil, I decided to keep it simple and stick to single shades of colors. Plus, the teal and pink combination was completely new to me, so I was really excited to see how it would turn out. And I have to say, the final result is bright, bold, and wonderfully vibrant. I repeated the same exact technique using the pink shade, but well, before starting using the pink, I made sure to wipe down my stencil to avoid any color contamination. And here's a look at the finished background, so vibrant and absolutely stunning. Now, since this is a geometric pattern, there are endless ways you could use it. You could trim it into a square card, cut sections to use it as your focal elements, or even layer it behind other designs. For today's project, I chose to turn it into a circle window card. To create my circle window, I'm using the Border Party Circle dies, which were part of the fun new release by Catherine Polar in collaboration with Sizzix. I really love this set. It comes with 6 different circles featuring beautiful etched designs. For my card, I'll be using the largest circle to cut out the window. Now, with such a busy background, those etched details don't stand out as much, but they're absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you want to highlight them, you can trace over the etching with your black gel pen or a marker to make them pop. Now, since I was creating a window card, I decided to add a thin trim instead. The easiest way to make a trim or a frame for your window is by using the same large circle die you cut your window with and pair it with the next smaller die or circle die in the set. I cut mine from black cardstock and I just love how striking it looks against that pink and teal background. It really makes the whole design stand out beautifully. Then I use the larger circle to create my window from an acetate sheet. Now, whenever you're die cutting acetate, especially heavyweight acetate like the one I'm using here, you won't get a clean cut as you would with paper or cardstock. Instead, the die will leave a faint etched outline which works perfectly as a guide for trimming the shape with scissors. Now, since mine was a thick acetate, I followed that etched line with scissors to cut out the circle. And because this piece will be adhered behind the frame, it doesn't need to be perfectly precise. To attach the circle acetate to my circle frame, I like using liquid glue. It gives just the wiggle room to adjust before it fully sets in place. The amount of foam tape that you use really depends on how much dimension you want on your shaker window and the type of shaker bits that you're adding. Now, since I'll be using flat sequences, I only added a single layer of foam tape around the edges. Now, one step I always like to do before adding the shaker bits is brushing a little anti-static powder along the inner sides of the foam tape with a flat paintbrush. This helps prevent the sequins from sticking to the tape so they can move around freely inside the window. I filled the window with a mix of blue and pink sequins to complement the background and added a few gold ones for extra sparkle that really pops against that black frame. Then, using liquid glue, I sealed the window. You will notice that there's a little bit of that background peeking through the shaker window, but that's an easy fix. You can just trim it away once the glue has fully dried. You could definitely use the entire panel as your background. Well, I did trim it to create a circle window. You could use the entire background and just add your shaker window on top, but I wanted to introduce some texture to this card. So I decided to add a layer of an embossed panel. I used the new Burst of Bright embossing folder, which also well comes with a stencil. But for this card, I kept the background white and relied solely on that beautiful embossed texture. Now, if you want to see a colorful card that I made using this embossing folder and stencil set, I do have a video for that, where I'll be sure to link it down in the description box below. Now that our background is ready, it's time to attach the shaker window to the center of the panel. Well, first, I trimmed away all that excess that was peeking out. Then, using liquid glue, I adhered the window in place. It might not be super obvious here on camera, but in person, it looks absolutely stunning. The textured background really makes the shaker pop and adds a beautiful dimension. Here's a look at that finished panel. I absolutely love the shaker bits, that beautiful geometric pattern on our window, and well, the textured background. Off camera, I went ahead and completed my card front. I attached this onto an A2 size card base. I chose a bright pink base and paired it with a lovely scripty happy birthday sentiment from the Up and Away stamp set. And that's card number one, a vibrant, colorful, interactive shaker card with so many fun details. For card number two, I kept things much simpler using the same geometric background with two tones of color. This time I kept the colors really subtle and light, unlike the bold pinks and teals from the first card. I intentionally kept the colors light because I wanted to show you that even with a busy background, you can still add beautiful focal points without covering up all that pattern. For this card, I used soft reds and light greens. I trimmed the panel to fit an A2 size card base, and to really make those soft colors stand out, I layered it onto a slightly larger black cardstock before adhering it to my A2 size card base. For the focal points of our card, I decided to use the Bright Butterfly die set, which is another new release from Catherine Poehler in collaboration with Sizzix. This set includes four different butterfly designs, complete with etched details that add texture and dimension to the wings. The inner layers really make the butterflies pop and highlight those delicate little details. The set also includes two trails, some hearts, and two dies that cut out the centerpiece of the butterflies. This coordinates perfectly with the bright butterflies stamp set. You can cut these butterflies from colorful cardstocks or use white cardstock and add some beautiful ink blending for a custom look. The coordinating stamp set includes fun layers and details that you can stamp. Then use the dies to cut them out and add them onto your card front for that extra dimension and interest. Well, now this part of the video is sped up since this is a technique you've probably seen me do before. I cut out the butterflies using black and white cardstock. For the white inner detail pieces, I added green and red ink, blending it a couple of times to make sure that the color is more vibrant than our background. That helps the butterflies really pop against the busy, colorful panel. Now, once the butterflies were colored, I added foam tape to the edges of all of the wings and then glued the body centers before attaching them to the black base. The foam tape lifts the wings slightly, creating dimension, while the glue holds the bodies securely attached to the black base. I like to use my reverse tweezers to keep the butterflies in place while the glue dries, ensuring that the wings stay popped. After I was happy with the placement of all the wings and how the wings popped, I added the little centers to the butterflies. I then placed them on the card panel, and once I was happy with the final placement, I adhered everything firmly with liquid glue. For my sentiment, I used a thin strip that says thinking of you. This was stamped in using white embossing powder over black cardstock, and the sentiment is from the Up and Away stamp set. To finish the card, I added a bit of sequin mix around the butterflies for some extra sparkle. You'll notice that even though the colors of the butterflies match with the background, they still stand out beautifully. That's because we build up the colors by layering the same ink multiple times, making them brighter and richer. So if you don't have multiple shades in the same color family, this is a great technique. You can just use one ink pad and simply layer it to achieve deeper and more vibrant look. Once my card front was complete, I adhered it to a top folding A2 size white card base. And well, here's a look at our finished cards. Two completely different card designs, both created using the same exact stencil. And well, that wraps up today's card making session. I hope you enjoyed seeing how one stencil can create two completely different looks, one bright and bold and other soft and subtle, yet a busy background. It just goes to show how versatile these tools can be and how much fun you can have with them experimenting with color, texture, and dimension. All the supplies that I used for today's video can be found linked in the description box below. Please note that all of these links are affiliate links, which means that if you shop using one of my links, I'll get a small commission at no cost to you guys. Thank you again for joining me today. Until next time, stay safe.